Welcome back to Steel City Drones. It is what, Andrew?
Free Tech Tuesday.
Free Tech Tuesday. So today we are going to talk about why drones fly away, how to prevent it from flying away, and understanding all of the insides of really understanding your drone to prevent problems. So, we see a lot of people, and this is really kind of prominent with public safety. Public safety have a lot of flyaways. And I want to identify 3 different reasons why they happen. The first is most people do not have the knowledge of why it happens and understands the anatomy of the drone. The second is because they don't know how to recognize when it's happening.
Okay.
And third, it's because they don't have the flight skills to be able to fly the drone manually without the assistance autopilot technology with the aircraft. So how does a GPS work? That's the first thing we got to talk about. The GPS inside here is basically the same quality and makeup of like what you have on your cell phone. And it uses a compass for heading. And that allows the drone to be able to lock in positional hold latitudinally and longitudinally. So you'll see the drone with the autopilot is staying right here because of that positional hold, because GPS is working correctly. So my hands are off the sticks, but yet the drone is staying laterally and longitudinally very solid. Now the aircraft also has auto height control, but that's something separate, and that really never fails, and that's never an issue. The problem is the GPS inside, it has basically the kryptonite. Okay. The kryptonite of the drone is the compass of the GPS system. The compass inside here is very susceptible to environments as you're flying, such as excessive metal, bridges, railroads, but it also has a lot to do with electromagnetic fields around us. If we get our drone up in the air and do a nice little safety check, say it's about 12 feet high, 25 feet away from us, and it all looks good. Well, let's say we're flying out this way right here over a hill. We don't know what's behind there. Now the drone is near, let's say, 200,000 volt power lines. The 200,000 volt power lines are going to create a very large electromagnetic field that is strong enough to basically compromise the compass inside here. It's the same thing as if you were to take back at your grade school science project, when you took a magnet and a compass and you put them together, that compass goes haywire. And that's what's essentially going on in here when that happens. So the higher the electromagnetic fields and the higher the power lines, it can become a real issue to the point where your aircraft is basically no longer holding, and then it just starts drifting away from you. And the further out we are, the worse it's going to be, because you might not see or recognize it happening soon enough until it's basically really going away far away from you. Because when it's happening is when the positional hold is not working, this aircraft is like a puck on ice. So it's just going to continue gliding in the direction with the momentum that is given, basically based upon the wind speed and direction. Okay. So then the third part about it is that you have to have good enough flight skills to be able to fly the aircraft manually without this autopilot, without positional hold. And that is what very few drone pilots, new and experienced, do not have a lot of experience with. Thus, when it happens, they don't have the ability to fly the aircraft back manually. So, I was even down here one time. This is down behind PNC Park, and I had a student want to be able to learn how to do some photography. So he brought his Inspire 2 with him, And we got the aircraft up in the air. He's flying the aircraft. Everything is good right off the bat as we just do our safety check that we normally do here when we take off. And as he was starting now to go away about maybe 300 or 400 feet high, he got a very big electromagnetic field that took the drone, was flying away from him rather fast, and he did not know what to do. So I took the drone back. I put it in what's called ADI mode, which is basically disabling the GPS system. And I was able to fly it manually back without any automation. So Andrew is our director of marketing here. And Andrew does not have his Part 107 yet.
Nope.
So he's working on that. And Andrew, why don't you talk a little bit about some of the things that go through your mind right now as a new pilot when you're flying?
When I first fly, I'd say it kind of comes down to how far away the drone is whenever I have it up in the air, because there are several factors. If I have it, let's say 1,100 feet away, and I start to lose the ability to actually have good, reasonable line of sight, if I can't tell the way that it's rolling, if I can't tell the way that it's coming back towards me, whenever I'm trying to figure out the orientation of the drone, if I kind of start freaking out mentally just because I'm not very familiar with the airframe, if it's something like the Mavic 4 Pro or a Matrice 400, which is much bigger, if I don't understand the airframe, I'm not going to be able to determine which way it is, even with the camera. Then I'm going to start freaking out and trying to rely on all the technology, even return to home for features like that.
Right, because also a lot of commercial flights, or at least 500 feet away, if not further, it's not uncommon that if you're doing a drone job, you may have to fly 750 to 1,000 feet away from you. And when that happens with a smaller drone, as it's moved, let's say it was to drift by itself manually like this, okay? Because of the aspect ratio in the sight picture, you might not see it right at first until it actually starts moving away. And by then, it might be too late. And again, if we don't have the flight skills to be able to fly manually, that's a problem. And with Come Home, a lot of people have a very big sense of false security with Come Home because it's like their crutch. Well, if I can't get it back, I'll hit Come Home. Well, Come Home operates off of GPS. So if the GPS is compromised with the compass, it's no longer going to know where it is in real time, to where it knows where Come Home is, but if it doesn't know where it is, it won't know how to get to Come Home. So Come Home won't work in those situations. And just the last thing that I want to talk about in regards to this subject is that not all drones are created equally in regards to this. Because a lot of the DJI products now, the newer ones out here, are very good, and they really have a higher threshold for electromagnetic interference compared to other manufacturers and models out there, to where, I mean, we have definitely used this aircraft for a lot of B-roll around high tension power lines, and it's been able to handle it fairly well without any problems. But in the other sense, other makes and models show up right away. We cover everything that we're talking about right now. We cover that in our online course for basically how to be a drone pro. It's Drone Pro Essentials, and there's over 10 and a half hours of content that covers everything that we're talking about. Andrew, what else do we got as far as drone mapping? We got online courses, and what else do we have coming up?
We have 3 different classes actually coming up for on-site training here at our Carnegie location. We have one in August, one in September, and one coming very soon in October also.
And then also, we have, with the online mapping courses, we have 3 different online courses depending upon how far you want to go down that rabbit hole. So if you want in-person training or online training, we have everything that you need. And likewise, if there's anything that you want me to talk about on this subject, put them down in the comment section below. I'll be glad to have a conversation regarding this. And for future topics of things that you want me to cover, put them down also. And I'm creating a nice list here for continuing to do this on Tuesdays. So until next Tuesday, thanks again for watching. We'll talk to you soon.